In this video, I'm going to tell you everything you need to know about the J-Find visa, what it is not, really important, and how you can become your own self-sponsor for your visa in Japan. What is that? I'm sorry. Who are you? Bro, chill. We'll get there. Hang on. My name is Oğuzhan. Welcome to my channel. And first and foremost, I do have to apologize. I have received so many questions and DMs on LinkedIn, and this video took me about 2 years to come up with. There are two reasons to it. One, I don't like talking into a camera. It feels utterly uncomfortable to me because I'm an in-person kind of guy. Two, I'm running out of my own J-Find visa. And so I was like, you know what? I have my experience for 2 years on this visa. Why don't I share this with the world? In this case, with you guys. Thank you so much for listening. And without further ado, let's goobadoo. Bro, Scooby, what? Anyways, man, can you tell us about the J-Find visa? Okay, so I think it's best if we look at the government website for this. If you just type in J-Find Visa Japan, it should be the first one to pop up or one of the first ones. And then going on the website, it says something like for individuals who have graduated from an excellent university who want to engage in entrepreneurial or job-seeking activities. So there we know entrepreneurial and job-seeking activities. That's basically it. That was the video. Thank you so much. So they also have a beautiful outline in both Japanese and English, and they call it Japan System for Future Creation Individual. So that is J-Find. And there are only 3 criteria. First one is you have to have graduated from a university ranked in the top 100 in at least 2 of the 3 world university rankings. So we have the QS World Ranking by Quacquarelli-Simons, we have the Times Higher Education Ranking, and then we have the World Ranking by Shanghai University. And by graduation, they mean at least a bachelor's degree. So you can have a BA, master's, MBAs, or PhD, anything after getting your bachelor's degree. And then you have to have 200,000 yen for living expenses at the beginning of your stay. And for this, a proof of, bank statement, like a screenshot, will be enough. Now, on a very personal note, I don't think if you're applying for the visa to live in Tokyo, I don't think 200,000 yen will get you anywhere. Thinking back to my beginning, I couldn't rent an apartment. I couldn't open a bank account. Like confidently, I can say I lost over $10,000 just figuring out how to stay, and then lost money, with trying to find out banking solutions. And so reason is usually the system is set up in a way that you have to have a guarantor. So that's either your school, your employer, or your relative or your spouse. With the J-Find visa, you don't have that because you are your own guarantor. And so neither banks nor management companies for rental properties like to see that. And so, have a look at my blog article. I break down what I did, what worked for me exactly, because if I keep talking, this will turn into a TED Talk, and then we're going to have a half-hour video and But then, bro, why have only a few people heard about this? That's actually a very legit question. I want to say because Japanese government didn't really announce the visa back in 2023. There was no marketing. And again, the reason is probably because they don't like seeing you without a guarantor. And I can understand that. It makes having a guarantor, having someone who can vouch for you, be that your school, your employer, your spouse, will make everything easier for both sides. So for Japanese bureaucracy, but also for you as a foreign individual. That was probably the reason. Okay, and what exactly can I do with the visa? Yeah, so that's actually very simple. You can seek work. That means you can apply for jobs within Japan, because usually the entry barrier is, okay, company asks, well, do you have a visa? And you go like, no. They go like, okay, we don't sponsor overseas candidates. And so with the J-Find visa, you already have a visa. So you can tell them, hey, I have a visa. It just needs for a change of residency status. So that's one. You can seek work. You can start your business. And that means everything from an actual business to operating it, so working in and working on the business, getting your business cards, getting your website, on client work. And you can even incorporate your business. So in the States, I guess that would be either an LLC or a stock company. In Japan, those are called Godo Gaisha and Kabushiki Kaisha. On a side note, so in June, Japanese government announced that there might be some changes with the business manager visa. And last week in August, they announced again that they probably, highly likely, will raise the initial capital from 5 million to 30 million yen. Plus, you need to employ a full-time employee to start your company. That's for another time, for another video. Bro, can I have your passport real quick? Thank you. Nice, bro. Got the Swiss red going on. The old one, huh? Nice. But bro, there's a slip in your passport that says basically that this person is allowed to engage in activities that fall under the category of designated activities. And there's some bunch of numbers. And then they say, however, the person is not permitted to engage in employment at the following establishments or businesses: adult entertainment business, specified amusement and food businesses that involve adult entertainment, businesses without physical stores engaged in sexual activities and services or similar businesses as defined on video transmission type sex-related businesses, telephone-based sex businesses, other similar unlicensed intermediary businesses defined under 2 and item 10. What's that about? That is correct. You can basically do anything except all those things plus full-time work, because that's not the intended purpose of the visa. Once you find a job, once you have a job offer, you do need to change from J-Find to a working visa. That can be a working visa or that can be a highly skilled professional visa as well. Okay, nice. And who would you say this visa is for? So after 2 years being on the J-Find visa, I can confidently say that this visa is for people who want to test the waters in Japan for all the reasons that I mentioned before, and for people who want to either build something, be that a brand, a business, or their portfolio, work on themselves if they want to, just take a break from whatever they are going through, and they know, hey, they wanted to try living in Japan, but they don't want to commit too much money, give up everything back home. I feel like this visa is the best opportunity to do so. And also, obviously, people who are looking for a job in Japan, but they know that the initial visa is really hard to get. So kind of like as a bridge solution, you get the J-Find visa and then you apply for jobs here. And again, for networking, going on events, meeting people, building your community, great visa. One of the best visas out there. And if you want to freelance, part-time and want to do project work, this visa is pretty suitable. Yeah, don't do that. Okay, so if I understood correctly, I don't need a job offer to get the visa. You don't need a job offer to get the J-Find visa. That's the beauty of the visa. You just need to tick all the 3 criteria, check the boxes. That's it. Nice, bro, nice. Could you recap just briefly? Again, you can do basically anything and everything. So from running events to organizing dinner parties, doing photography work, videography work, consulting, whatever that is. That's the power, the unique power that this visa has. And I am deeply saddened that I do need to change, but that's how life is. That's how life goes. It was a deal that I took on from beginning on. And so, yeah. Okay, could I technically bring my kids and family with me? I have not done it, and I don't know of anyone who has done it. I did consult an immigration lawyer before. They couldn't give me an answer how exactly that is, because apparently, depending on your background, depending on your spouse's background, your kid's background, there are different requirements. So I know it is possible, but I can't really tell you what exactly you need to do to sponsor your family. Thanks, bro. Maybe one more thing. What kind of documents do I need to submit and where do I exactly do that? Okay, so for this, we're going to have a look at my article from 2 years ago, almost 2 years ago, I think. So the COE application form, 1 photograph, documents proving that I had graduated from a university ranked in the top 100. And those were just screenshots. I think I did QS World Ranking and Shanghai Ranking. I don't think my university was in the Times Higher Education. And then my CV, a description of intended activities. And here I had mentioned the J-Find visa, and I couldn't find my original one that I submitted, but this is the one that I had for the renewal. For the original one, I said, hey, I'm applying for the J-Find visa. I'm going to start my business. I'm going to do this and that. And I just tried to be as detailed as possible. That's it. And then a document showing my current balance of my savings account. And for that, I just had printed out a screenshot of my balance. And that was my Swiss bank account. I didn't have a bank account anywhere else. For the address, so immigration will send you the COE to your place of residence in Japan. Because I didn't have that, I filled out this paper saying, hey, I don't have an address in Japan. I am not a resident, but my friend is living here. Can you please send the document to his house? So they did that. That's how I got the COE. Nice, bro, nice. Good stuff. So I read that after getting the COE, you applied at your local Japanese embassy in Switzerland. Any closing thoughts? Anything else? Okay, so do I think that this visa is for everyone? Absolutely not. I don't think that this visa is for everyone. However, I think if you are eligible and you wanted to just try living in Japan without giving up everything back home, wherever home is to you, it's an incredible way to just live in Japan and experience everything from working, connecting, networking, how Japan is, working on yourself, working on your brand, on your portfolio. If you are a freelancer, you can say, hey, look, I was 2 years in Japan. I did X amount of projects. And yeah, it's basically 2 years of almost total freedom in Japan. If you had that, what would you do? Think about it. Let me know in the comments. Let me know if you do have any other questions. Anything about Japan, visa, housing, like that can be from how to buy a house, how to rent an apartment, how to get a Japanese driver's license. I have done almost all of that. And if not, my clients work in those fields, so I know how to do that. Let me know. I'm really happy to help, happy to support. That's my mission now with this channel. Thank you so much, everyone, for listening, for tuning in. Stay curious. Always stay curious. Always stay humble. Peace.